beef, so I
But
apologize. I do apologize for that, seriously. But anyhow, in the basement, I don't care about
this
those
is a great
scarves.
conversation.
I don't care about that. In the basement, for her
You do care
birthday.
about scarves. You don't have scarves.
No,
and
I'm just
hats.
saying I don't care.
So
It's
you
fine.
do care about it.
On her birthday, I had
Thank you,
we have a
Pastor Ronnie.
basement.
Thank you.
We got our basement finished, but in the basement we have like a room. This room, now mind y'all, this room, I actually wanted to make this room my studio.
Oh, you talking about the basement?
Yeah.
You was not even thinking about that. Stop it.
Let me finish my statement.
No.
Hold your,
You
hold
can't
it.
lay hands on no man's son.
That's not what that means, and you know
I
that,
know,
so be
that's why I
quiet.
said
So
it,
let me
but
finish.
still, no,
Let me
that's
finish.
what-
All right, y'all. I am patiently waiting for my co-host here, so I don't know what she's doing. But good evening, everybody. I pray that you are doing well. I have had a good Saturday. Got some rest in. Kind of relaxed a little bit after I got done with practice. First time on a Saturday, I take that back. I didn't relax. I had to. Saturdays for me outside of practice is going to get at Yane soccer in the afternoon, so I forgot about that. So yeah, I was at a soccer game, of course, and they got long soccer games now. It's no longer the kiddie soccer games. They got whole 40-minute halves with breaks, so soccer takes 2 hours out of my Saturday, which I enjoy because it's for my daughter. And but yeah, so we're live. I'm waiting, like I said, patiently for my co-host, whatever she's doing. I think she's helping with hair upstairs. And here she comes to save the day. I might need to slide over. I already did the intro, so we in it now.
Hey.
Why you all on me? Move over.
Ooh, chilly.
Move over so we can be centered.
I am over. Move over where?
Maybe it's the camera.
How you want me to move over?
You just fine. No, but you gotta understand like the way we're centered on the camera. Like we look like, yeah, that way looks better. I think. Yeah, just slide over a little bit. Okay. Whatever. I guess.
I guess.
You share it because I don't get people, I guess, on my feed like that. So you share
Yes,
it.
you do.
No, I don't. Maybe we need to start right
I don't
there,
think.
too.
I don't. Oh yeah, that's it. Definitely. I think you're
But,
right.
yeah, you share it.
Oof.
Let me see here. Let me say a few highs to see who's on real quick. I'm not sure if folks on YouTube or Facebook. Let me see if I can see chat here. Let's see, we got people on. I just can't see, or maybe just nobody ain't saying hi yet. How about that? Let me see here.
What's up?
If you hear, say hi before we get started. All right, we got a very interesting conversation tonight that I love. Don't be rude. Okay. When we have these conversations and talks, we don't. Again, like we've said this before, we take weeks going back and forth with what we're going to talk about. I have a week, she has a week, so whoever introduces the conversation that's what we're talking about that week, but the person does not know what we're talking about before we get on. So that makes it kind of interesting too as well. Hey, Nikki, good to see you. So this is going to be an interesting conversation. All right, I'm going to get right into it because the hour is late, and I think you're upstairs working on hair. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you helping?
I'm doing. What you mean?
Well, okay, you're assisting the other one. Oh, she ain't doing nothing?
She's just doing her. Yane's doing hers. I'm doing dreams.
Oh, I didn't know you was doing dreamies. Oh, okay. I thought you was helping Yane. All right, so I'll make it quick. So this conversation tonight is interesting because I got to give context to this. Okay, now actually I'm not gonna give context, but my topic is how much. What is your price? That's what I put down. What is your price? Because we're living in an hour right now where there's a lot that's going on. As y'all can see, there's governmental things going on, but also there's great things that's going on in the kingdom of God too as well. There's a lot of things that are going on, like I said, throughout the world politically. There are people actually dying for the sake of the gospel, which that's one of the things I thought about talking about. But I said this, what is your price? Because I'm getting ready to play a video. I'm going to play a video. And this person that I'm getting ready to show is someone that, if you grew up like I did, this was a person's music. As far as, it wasn't good for us, but we listened to him because, again, it was part of our time. And that person is Snoop Dogg. Now, Snoop Dogg has kind of transitioned a little bit. He still has music and he's still doing music, but he has transitioned to mainstream. And we know the music industry has a lot of corruption in it, a lot of demonic activity, because, again, they know they can deal with it from a perspective of people either having talent, not having talent. They can really manipulate and all of that, which you don't have to Google. This been going on for years. Remember the guy back in the day, Craig Lewis? Remember him?
Yeah.
Look, that man had me in fear when I started seeing all that stuff like that. But Snoop Dogg, we know, West Coast rapper, all the different things, and then now he's transitioned to mainstream with TV shows and commercials and all these different things that he's doing. And he did something at first. It was about like a couple months ago. And I want you to watch the video. And I have video for y'all today, so we're going to watch it. So she's seeing this for the first time. She has no clue what I'm about to share right now.
Not at all.
So we're going to watch this together.
We're going to watch it.
And I want y'all to see this. I saw this when it happened, and I found it to be interesting. So, yep, here we go. Share screen. So we're going to watch this together. Okay? All right.
These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like,
that part.
they're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's latest comments are raising eyebrows. After taking one of his grandchildren to see the Disney film Lightyear, the rapper recalls during an episode of the It's Giving podcast being shocked to see an LGBTQ plus couple represented on the big screen.
So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, they move on into the space years, they move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. So my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch a goddamn movie. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
What'd you tell him?
Watch the movie. It's just popcorn.
Shh. You said we don't know. We don't know.
It threw me for a loop. I'm like, what part of the movie was this? These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like,
that part.
they're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
E! News has reached out to Snoop's reps for further comment, but has not yet heard back. Lightyear's representation of a same-sex couple caused quite a bit of controversy at the time of its release, with countries like Saudi Arabia banning it altogether. At one point, the
Okay. All right. So, as y'all saw what Snoop said, he had made comment about that. And the main thing he made the comment about was about it being shown or seen to kids, his grandkids. Like, why do I have to have this conversation with my grandkids? Why is this in cartoons? Why, like, if you're an adult, there's a different level of understanding. There's a different level of things that you could talk about. But, okay, so of course, y'all know I'm on the side with Snoop here. Like, why is it in cartoons, okay? Now, this just happened a few days ago. Here is the next part of this I want to show you. That happened about a few months ago. Here is the part that just happened 2 days ago. All right? Wait, let me go back. This just happened, okay?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
So we just watched something that happened
We just watched something that happened about a few months back. And then this just happened 2 days ago.
Okay, y'all.
So Snoop Dogg has a channel and he has a show and different things, and it's called Doggy World. That's the name of his, like, he has with little, like, he has cartoons that he shows and stuff like that. Okay? So that's an ad. I can't do anything.
No, I'm saying you gotta probably go
So
up.
here we go. So here's the highlight. Snoop Dogg embraces gay couples in Doggy Land, a kids series. This is a cartoon that he has. It says Snoop Dogg embraces gay couples. Doggy Land Kids series saying love is love. Snoop Dogg shows support for LGBTQ. Blah 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 blah. But this is the thing. If he wants to do that on an adult stage. So here we go. So Snoop Dogg seemingly to address backlash from LGBTQ community over concepts about gay couples and in children's content highlighting diverse families. Now he has it on his show with a gay couple with kids in a show called Doggy Land. Okay. So, let me go back to my stop share. Perfect. Okay, so here's my point and here's my question. And here's my synopsis here. All right? So, you just said that it's not healthy for kids. Then a few months later now, you want to do it on a cartoon. Now, he could have just talked about it. He could have just had a conversation about it. He could have just said, you know what, y'all? This is the things that are going on in the world right now. He could have brought up an adult movie. But he decided to have a cartoon and do the same thing that he was just complaining about. Here's my point, and here is what I'm at with it.
Now, is a cartoon though? Is it the same thing, or is it like addressing what happened?
No, it's not addressing what's happening.
Oh,
it's
okay. That would have made more sense.
It's not him saying, "Hey, y'all, I'm addressing what I said."
Amida.
Hey, Amida. It's not him addressing what was said.
Okay.
It's him now having it in his cartoon. So here's the thing. What is the price? Now, here what am I talking about? I'm saying to you this, right? There are certain things in life that you cannot have a price for. If you are a believer in God, now we know Snoop. I'm not, I believe he's not. I'm not saying you don't believe in God. I'm just saying I don't believe he might be saved. And that's not up to me. I don't know. He don't confess all that. But my thing is this, right? There has to be a place where you don't have a price. Meaning that there's certain things, it doesn't matter how much money you're going to give me. I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
So for me, and I'm going to actually throw this to you, like, I mean, this is a unique situation, but it's showing us, like, the control. Because you have to be sold to something. Like, somebody is controlling you that in a few months later, not only you could have addressed it, but you put it in a cartoon. All right, talk to this issue.
So, I might have just asked for an update.
Oh,
so
sorry,
basically,
Maya. You gotta watch. We put the video up.
We had a video.
I'll give you. Want me to tell her?
I mean, you can do a quick. Go ahead. I mean, if you like.
So I played a video of Snoop Dogg.
In the meantime, anybody else, if you want to put your comments in, go ahead and feel free to.
Complaining about the Buzz Lightyear movie months ago, when he had taken his grandkids to go see it. And it was a homosexuality couple in there. And he was basically complaining about the fact, not about it being so much homosexual, but why is it in a cartoon? Because the kids were in there asking him questions like, well, where did this baby come from if it was two ladies? So Snoop Dogg was basically saying, why are they playing these things in a cartoon?
And he's scared to go to the movies.
And he's scared to go to the movies now because he don't like the fact that why are we putting this on our kids? That's what he said. And then now, 2 days ago, he has a cartoon now called Doggy Land that actually shows homosexual couples. So my point is that there are certain things to me that are just not for sale. And it's showing a level of the world's industry that there is an agenda that will make sure, because there's something, I don't want to use the word soul, but he done sold his soul. Like, and I don't mean, like, I'm not saying but I'm saying he has sold himself to something. Because just a few months ago, you were totally against it being in cartoons, and all of a sudden you not you're okay with it, you're promoting it in your cartoon. So my question or my thoughts that I want Pastor to share is, where is the limitations, and then how do we make sure that we're not understanding that we're not for sale, and understanding that this whole industry is all corrupt? Go ahead.
You said, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question?
Question basically is like even like some of the things, like even when like I told Dream, like, stop watching that she tried watch that show on Netflix, that movie, that Demon Hunters thing. With the all that K-pop stuff, K-pop. It's ugh. But I'm saying, like, where because I'm at the point now where, I mean, of course, I think for children, like, I mean, believe me, I don't believe in like watching all kind of crazy movies. I do like some action, praise the Lord. I do like some comedy, but I understand like there are limitations where they need to draw the line when it comes to children. And my point being is like, I just want you to talk about it. That's all. I really had a question. I can't remember the question now, but I just want you to talk about, like, where do we stop? What is your price? That's my question, because we have to understand now, Snoop had a price. And as long as you have a price, you're willing to bend the rules for anything. In other words, somebody was controlling his strings to cause him to do this, and it might have been someone that he's already underneath agreement with, already who he signed a contract with, that, yo, you can't be talking like that, or now you have to address this, or now you got to put this in your show. So I think there needs to be a fine line of what is the price, and what are you willing to pay for a stance for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing. Like, what is your price to make sure that you pay a stance? Because especially for us that uphold the gospel, like, what is your price? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I know you did. I just kept talking,
and then it just went somewhere else.
Go ahead. Let your thought come back.
I'm gonna try to see if I can bring it back. But I mean, and I think we kind of talked about this a long time ago. Not probably in as much detail, but just the this whole industry, like, it's interesting, right? Because we know with the industry,
exactly
how sold out people are with that. But for God, it's like a different thing.
I'm with you,
like
Boone.
Not being sold out enough. And what do I mean by that? So it's interesting because, of course, my mind always goes back to, like, even the conversation with Cat Williams was having about, like, a lot of stuff that these people are doing, right?
Right.
So in reality, a lot of them, I don't think they don't own themselves anymore. Like, once you give yourself over, like, you have to abide by, what they're saying, what they're doing, their agenda. So the reality is, he might have had, for instance, let's say an honest reaction. That's where it goes back the few months. That was a reaction. Like, this is how I really feel. Mm-hmm. But because I'm under subjection to this thing, now I have to change everything to make sure everybody knows oh no, we're pushing this. Because I'm sure somebody probably got up in there like, no, this is our agenda. This is what we're pushing. So you need to be in line with it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what happened, because like I said, they don't have any type of ownership of themselves. Like, you have to be under subjection to, and that's, the whole thing about what, I'm not sure, but the whole thing they said about Martin Lawrence and
dressing like
what's the other guy?
Kevin Hart,
Dave Chappelle, like a lot of stuff that happened when they tried to get out, and what transpired by them trying to get out of that situation. So it's really an interesting thing. I mean, none of us can really say exactly what, because of the fact that, we're not in it, but I definitely believe it's like control, like, you're just sold out to it, and you have to abide by everything that everybody is saying. I think that's why some people don't choose to, like, for instance, Cat Williams, he could say what he wants, you know?
Correct, because he ain't got no contract.
I appreciate that, and I commend all of those that are in those, environments that actually have a stance for something. Like, even before, I remember when the whole thing came with Sesame Street, when they were trying to make Bert and Ernie gay, and like, they was like, nah, we ain't doing that, right? I appreciate the fact that somebody had like some type of stance or standard that we're not just going to do what you want us to do because we're not going to follow your agenda. Now, the interesting part about it is hopefully things don't change over the year with ownership and stuff like that, because then we have that whole situation. Just like with Chick-fil-A, the same thing. Like, I appreciate the fact that some people cannot, in a sense, bow to the agenda, because the reality of it is, the enemy want everybody to come with him. Right. So everything's going to try to go in that way to make everything possible corrupt. You know what I mean? And I think that's why media is such an interesting thing now, because, I think it's good on both sides, because the fact that it does allow us, like, even with that movie, like it allowed us to have conversations even with our children about that. And with talking about this is not with Buzz Lightyear.
Well, we watched
the first
15
few minutes
of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it allowed for conversation to let you know, because the reality of it is it's being exposed. I mean, they're trying to get it in schools. Some schools do kind of have it where they're trying to get that agenda into the school systems. It's so crazy how it just like how I have so much to say about it. It's so crazy how everything transfer, like how they're pushing it so much. And it's like, when you think about, like, if we were really unified as a kingdom of God, like how much we could get done. But I think that's why so much things, of course, that's why the enemy tries to fight in that unity, because there's so much that you can get done. But their unity is under the wrong thing, but they're still getting things done because they're unified and they have an agenda and they have a plan in place to kind of help it. So I mean that. But
here's go ahead. Here's my stance too as well. Like, my stance is just take your stance.
Yeah.
Like, that's my issue, because if there's always a price, you can always be bought.
Right.
Right. So, and I think that when people don't have stances, it's a formality of showing you what kind of identity you have. The only thing that identifies a person is what they stand for. So if you can't stand for something, you don't have an identity. So what has happened to like these industries, right? People don't realize this, right? The music industry, even to a degree, they're trying this in the sports industry. That's why I won't even go see that movie. That movie's crazy. You can even tell it's crazy. But the sports, especially the movie industry. Katrina, the music industry extremely, right? All these industries that deal with entertainment, they want to take identity. So they want to control who you are, and they'll control it, as even Amaya said, the love of money. They control it by the price point. And there has to be a place where, what do you stand for? Because that has nothing to do with money, right? Like, there are people that will say, you know what? I'll pay you $10 million if you sweep this underneath the rug and make sure, or make sure this person is offed, or this person is dealt with, or you know, you lie on this, or you do that, or you do this, and it's like, oh, I'll do it for $1 million. Oh, I'll do it for 500,000. It's like, I'll do it. Like, there comes a time in certain things in your life. I'll do that for 10. There comes a time where you have to say no. Like, the money is not. It don't matter how much money you give me, right? If someone said to me, "Oh man, yeah, I need you to do this to this person and make sure," no, there's no amount of money that's gonna make me do this, right? There's no amount of money that's gonna make me go ahead and have this kind of falling out. Because why? There's a standard that shows who I am. The money doesn't define me. The money, because now once you've done that, that money is almost like blood money. It's almost like when the Bible talks about the God, what am I talking about? Like the ways of the wicked, like how it talks about how that when God adds to you, it brings no sorrow, right? So if you have to grab money that's going to add sorrow to your life, or pain, or even begin to hurt your heart, your soul, right? And that's the thing about people having a soul anymore, right? Because if you have a soul, you have a mind, you have a will, you have an intellect, and you have a strong one that has values, then it will stand on a standard. Which means that you cannot be bought, right? You cannot be purchased for certain things. Now, if someone comes to me, it's funny because if Boone is on here, if Dan's still on here, I remember one of the kids asked me, it was like, some of the kids asked me the other day, like, Coach, if you get offered a college job, such and such, and I was like, I said, not this year. I said, it would probably in a year or two. I said, because there's a certain group of kids I just love that much. I'm like, I got to hold out, and I'm saying, like, it's got to be crazy amount of money, because it's not even just the kids I'm coaching, it's also the uprooting of my family, it's all the movement. So there's other things to take in consideration if something like that would come up, because they asked me, Coach, what about this amount of money? Would you go to this college for this amount of money? I said, listen, y'all, there's a lot of things that are connected to all of that movement. My phone just died, but I guess we pull up if anyone says anything on yours.
Yeah.
But that's coaching, right? But if it comes to like, oh, yo, do this against your wife for this kind of money. Like, what are we talking about? Like, there's standards. And then now I will have to lay next to her, live with that in my conscience. be that in my soul, all that for what? Like, no. And then like, so all these things, there's where do you fall in line at? What do you fall out of? Because right now the price tells me you don't have an identity. Am I making sense by what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who you are, it's not about how much money you have or how much whatever you start, because someone, either it's because of his contract or somebody paid him off to say, no, don't do this, and you have to do this, right? And his stance was like, you can see his initial stance was like, nah. And it wasn't just the fact that he had to explain it. It was the fact that he said, why is this in cartoons? So if you wanted to address it or you felt differently, then you would address it on an adult stage, not bringing it to your doggy land, which tells us his identity has been taken from him, right? Because his identity first spoke up, or his standard he had spoke up and said, nah, why is this in cartoons? Why I got this in cartoons? And then eventually now, somebody either showed him a contract or somebody either paid him some money and said, this is what it is. And then now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm gonna put this in my cartoon. Because why? Someone is stealing your identity. Because your identity is your stance. Whatever you stand for shows me who you are. All right, go ahead. You about to say something? Look at
No, that's kind of what that's we both said the same thing.
It's the standard versus the price.
It's the fact of what they have given themselves over to. So once you give yourself over, you're not supposed to have an identity. Even with Christ, like, we're supposed to do whatever Christ wants us to do, right? We're supposed to be his representatives. Right. We're supposed to be subject to him, though, everybody has different, elements with that. But thinking about, I'm just going to go back to what you were saying about just money. That's like one of the things that are most enticing that the enemy, of course, is going to use. Like, that's the tool. And it's crazy. It's not crazy, but it makes sense why the Bible talks about it so much, because money is a tool, right? Yeah. And people can use it in different ways. And it says the love of money is the root of all evil. Why? Because now you're worshiping that. And like the Bible says, you can't worship two gods, two masters. It's either going to be God or mammon or money. That's what it translates to. Correct. So understanding, like, it doesn't even say, it's interesting, it doesn't even say the devil. It doesn't say God or the devil. It says God or mammon, meaning God or money. So it's easy to get into that place where people have put themselves to actually, become lovers of money. And it's funny because I talked about this a little bit in my book. Keep talking. But it's funny because of course they're going to show us the things that, like, everything looks nice on the outside, right? These people look successful, happy, they got these big homes, all this stuff, but in the reality and the backdrop, you don't know what they're like. A lot of them are on medications because they're in severe depression, right? Yep. Because they're in suicidal, like they have suicidal thoughts. There's so much going on, but we don't see that part. And the reason we don't see that part is because they don't want us to see that part. They don't want us to see where that apple takes us, or where, like, Eve was deceived with the apple. But the reality of it is, you don't know where that's taking them. And they don't want us to see that part. They want to show us all the glam and the good stuff. We see, they're making money. So this whole persona is, oh, if I make money, then I'll be this or I'll have this. But where does that take you? For instance, because with us, I'm saying a lot of us on here, when we become wealthy, it's like, it's different, because we're not going to just be like, oh, we're going to sacrifice our standards for anything else. It's just like, oh no, we're for God. So whether it's this or that, we're going to say what God says. Like, there's no amount of money that's going to make me change. Like, oh, I think that this is right, or no. And we don't want it that way. We don't want to surrender to something else other than, what God is saying or what the call of God is for our lives, rather than change up. And you have people that do that too. As far as, like, the call, but now, because maybe it's not going the way you want, then it's like you see that enticement, right? Because the enemy's not going to come at you with anything that looks like, oh yeah, let me show you the end. This is what's going to happen to you. No, I'm going to make it look enticing. And that's why you see even a lot of the gospel artists, right? Trying to go over. Why? Because this looks enticing. I'm starting to see, and I'm starting to be tempted I'm starting to be tempted by what the enemy is showing me, right? Just like Jesus was tempted. It's the temptation. Like I'm seeing this, but not knowing that even as I become and start stepping into that, it's taking you deeper. It's sifting you, right? And it's also showing, I'm not gonna get into too much of that because that was my conversation for next week. But it's the enticement of it, because this is what we're seeing. So because this is what we're seeing, because I'm showing, oh, everybody looks happy. Of course, it's all a facade, like to make you want that life, to make you, that's why people dream of certain things, because they think, oh, if I get this, if I do this, then I'm going to be happy. And they find themselves in severe, like a completely different thing that we don't see.
Right.
But it's happening. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting dynamic, because if he didn't make it look good, then people wouldn't desire it so much. But because it looks good, it's like, oh, this is what I want.
Yeah. And think about it.
And then everywhere. When you get it, then it's not, you find out that it's not, but it's too late. You find out that's not what you expected. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I heard someone say this before. They said, if you still...
She said, I guess it's great.
Okay, I saw that. If you still have a price, then you don't have...
Hey, Pastor Lonnie.
If you still have a price, then you don't have a standard. I heard that said before. If you still have a price for it, you don't have a standard for it. So in other words, if there's still a price, and I'm not talking about you going to another job or you, starting like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the standards of life, right? I don't care if someone came in here and was like, Pastor, I'm going to give you $10 million to go shake it on a pole for a year. She going to be like,
not at all.
Because $10 million.
You go shake it and you give me $10 million. Oh shoot.
Because why? That's the standard, right? Now I'm not talking about people that have been abused and different things like that. Like because someone tried to take their identity, which now they start owning that person's soul, and like that's a different monster, and that's where you got to get people free and delivered and all that. But my thing is that like there's a standard, meaning that it doesn't matter the price, right? And so I think that the world, we've been in this struggle for a long time, for thousands of years, that if you still have a price, then there's no standard, right? When people will offer people to kill somebody or do something to somebody, their standards, if there's a price, then there's no standard. If I say $5 million, if I say do this for $50 million, if there's still a price, then there's still no standard fully. There's a half, maybe not. So I think that's important to understand. So just watching those two things with Snoop in the matter of months.
Brother.
In the matter of months, we saw the flip. What's up, Apostle Bryce? Gotta call him his official name. Apostle
I know, I was going to say, I should
Jordan
say
Bryce.
Apostle.
Yeah, I'm messing with
Apostle brother.
But yeah, that's the thing. You saw that with Snoop. It was just a matter of literally months that he's talking about it on a cartoon, that it's no good for the kids. And then now he got a cartoon called Doggy Land with couples together.
Said, I got prices. Yeah, that just shows. Like you said, the reality of it is the system that they're under. Like you can't. I don't know how you get out. I don't know how. Once you in, they be like, nah, dog, you better get this straight right now, and then you got to take your little twinkle toes and go get it straight.
Some contracts in blood. That's why. But we don't get too deep into that.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. They don't. And you know what's funny? The funny thing is, he probably would never even have to put that in his cartoon if he didn't say anything. Exactly. But because he talked about their agenda, they're like, yo, nope, you got to fix this. You have to fix this. And the way you fix this is that you're going to have to put this in your own cartoon. Not even offer an apology, not even talk deep about it.
Not even wear a dress.
We want you to be scarred that you have to put it in your own situation, in your own creation, in your own creativity. You have to do this. Because months ago, how do you change from your stance now, without even talking about it, without even addressing it?
Right.
All of a sudden, we just find it in your cartoon.
But that's what I'm saying. He had an honest moment.
What you mean?
And he had to pay for that.
Well,
because the thing is, these people, even though they're under certain things and certain contracts, there are certain things that you gotta abide by. they still, I'm sure, with a lot of things, are like he said, you're not okay with it. But because of the obligation to which you sold yourself out to, now it's like, I'm in this. I can't even, and then if I show it, I got to make up somehow.
That's what I was gonna say. Because if he never even brought that up, he would never have to even do anything about it. I'm saying just in general. I'm sure it's a lot of stuff that they probably don't really agree with, but because it's a part of that whole agenda, it's like, oh, I have to go with this. Correct.
I have to make it seem like I'm for this and for. I don't have, like you said, there's no type of I have a mind of my own. No, it's their mind. It's what you sold out to, and sorry to say.
Here's the wild thing too, and I'm gonna say this.
Deliverance.
I'm done here. I believe it's the same thing.
That's where the prophets need to be going to these.
But I think it's the same thing even with the political streams, like Democrat and Republican. I don't think every Democrat is okay with same-sex marriage and abortion, and I don't believe that every Republican doesn't want the same thing with same-sex. So, like, what happens is once you get put into that category and you sign that contract, you're locked into whatever that agenda is, right? So you don't have any individuality of what you are. Once you have a label, that's what you become. What?
Because like when you think about that, like how dedicated they are to that, like it's like imagine if we was like that with the contract with God. You know what I mean? It's so crazy when you think about
that's
it.
That's a whole
like,
nother lesson.
No matter what, like this is what I'm sold to. This is what I'm gonna do. Like nobody changes it. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna kind of do this. No, it's just like, no, this is the Bible. This is how it is. Like it or not. If you don't like it, look at the word. Get there. It's that. Like when you think about how dedicated, like that's so crazy to think about that and think about how, not, I don't want to say last a day, but how,
that's
sometimes we're not as, dedicated with that. So it's crazy, like just to think about that. Cause it's like, Dad, could you imagine like what would be happening? It's, whew, Jesus, help us, Lord.
Yeah. I'll leave that. I'll teach that another day.
Celebrities on our hearts. Yes, amen. They do.
All right, y'all. We've been on for 38 minutes. Time to get off.
38.
You still gotta do what you're doing.
Still gotta do it.
Yep. I'm trying to.
Blessing of the Lord.
All right, y'all. I don't know who's preaching tomorrow.
The Bible. The Bible.
Don't know who's preaching to. I'm preaching the last Sunday, October, right?
That's what you said you wanted to do. So
am I?
That's what you said.
You might be preaching.
You say you wanted to, so I doubt that's gonna happen. Cause you said, is Katrina still on here? I'm trying to think. It might have been on there too. When you said you didn't want the whole. You said you was ready to go.
I'm enjoying this being.
So we let you go for.
I know it's funny too because at first I was like,
I know.
Look at that. Now I've been enjoying myself. I've been.
See, obedience. But it's okay. God is good. God is good.
He is.
God is good. But thank you guys for getting on. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Of course,
praise.
All we could do is pray. Well, that's not all we could do. We declare wealth over it. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Because we ain't having no bowing to Babylon. But we love you guys. Thanks for getting on, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Yepper.
Look, Katrina and I might have said yep.
Y'all can save y'all yup.
Yup.
All right.
Yup.
See y'all later.